I'm Erin, and I work on taxidermy and skull cleaning as a hobby. I've always kind of collected things, critters, skulls, bones, feathers, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know, a few years ago I thought I'd take a crack at it. So I just started with small things like mice and squirrels, and I had a couple of little birds I worked on, and then I decided to kind of reach out to a local taxidermist and see if he could teach me some things. And I did a few small pieces and I really enjoyed it. My first bigger piece, it's a snow goose, and that took me like 3 or 4 hours with some help. You know, once you get into this, people are like, well, it's kind of weird, but also they think it's interesting, so if they have something, they'll bring it to me. Like, you know, this is obviously a domestic bunny. He would have been a pet. People, I think, sometimes would rather see them be something in a second life than, you know, rot or go in the ground or whatever. So I think that's why people bring me stuff, I think. There's a lot of different things you could do. I mean, now there's a lot of newer technology, so something like this little bird, I'm doing, you know, old school taxidermy where you're gonna like remove the skin, and we call that a dry preserve. So basically he's, you know, he doesn't go in a wet tan or go get chemically treated or anything. It's like borax powder. You dry him, you make a little body for him, and you put him back together again. But a lot of people now will freeze dry things. So you send them out to somebody who freeze dries, and they basically put them all in the machine, and they come back out, and they're just like this. However you pose them is how they're going to come out. So, you know, if you had a pet iguana or whatever, you could send him out to get freeze dried, and he would come back just like he looked when he went out. Or, you know, like turkey heads, for mounts, get them freeze dried now and they send it back out. So that's a little bit different. Like these guys actually have bodies that I've made out of wood wool inside of them, but now, I mean, like there's a few here, this guy here. It's a form, so you just buy them, you make sure they're the right size, and you know, you do all your work and you just put them back together again. There's wet preserves, you can put things in jars, or you can clean them down to the skeleton, so it kind of depends what you want. I think I love it because, I mean, I love animals, and I always have. I do a lot of rescue work. That has obviously nothing to do with my taxidermy, but we get dogs that have lost their homes, or, you know, their owners die or don't want them or whatever, and we basically take them in and fix whatever medical problems they have and send them back out again. And I kind of feel like it's sort of the same thing. Like once they get purchased or whatever, they're kind of getting adopted, going to their second homes, you know? It's kind of like that. Instead of them going to rot or like go in the trash or whatever, you're fixing them, and that's pretty cool. And I like it. I mean, it takes me a long time to do things, but it's kind of therapeutic, sort of in a weird way. Like the skeleton stuff, I'm really good at puzzles, and they're kind of like puzzles. Like I really enjoy putting all the teeth back in when they're all done. I know that sounds really crazy, but like it's very satisfying when they're all lined up and perfect. I would say my typical clients are atypical people. They tend to be a little bit more open-minded, and they're not looking for traditional pieces like, you know, the deer in your dad's den or whatever. That's not really what I do. And I really like to work with things that were, you know, pets or roadkill or cast-offs from hunting or trapping, or, you know, things that otherwise would go in the trash is what I really like to work with. So I'm mostly not doing like hunting mounts or stuff like that. So I think that kind of draws in a more unique crowd.